Hey everyone, welcome back to the Better Travel channel. In today's video, we're diving into one of the biggest questions people ask me when planning a Disney trip. How much does a Walt Disney World vacation actually cost in 2025? Spoiler alert, it is not cheap, but it's also not impossible, and with the right planning, you can avoid surprises and make the most out of your Disney vacation. So grab your notebook or Excel spreadsheet because we're breaking this down in deep detail. I've thought of everything, including transportation, tickets, hotels, food, extras, and some hidden costs you'll want to know about before planning your trip. Let's get into it. First off, I will be assuming that the size of the family going on the vacation will be a family of four. However, I also took the time to break the prices of everything down per person, which will allow you to get a better understanding of how much things will cost by adding or subtracting people to fit the size of your party that you're traveling with. For example, let's say you're traveling with a party of five instead of four. All you will need to do is add the cost of one extra person to the family of four, and you will be able to calculate roughly how much it will cost for your party to vacation at Disney World this year. I will also be assuming that you are wanting to vacation between August and September of this year due to 2025 being halfway over when this video is being made. As you get closer to the holidays in the winter months, the prices of everything will increase. So the cheapest times to go are going to be August and September of 2025 before the holidays make prices skyrocket. With that being said, let's start where all the Disney vacations start, getting to Orlando. The cost of getting to Orlando depends highly on where you're coming from. If you live in the neighboring states such as Georgia or Alabama, it will obviously make more sense to drive to Orlando. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume that you'll be flying into Orlando because that's what most guests have to do to get to the parks. Using Google Flights, we can find the best deals on airline travel. If you believe you can find better deals, then feel free to use other outlets. But in my personal experience, I believe that Google Flights has the best deals on airline travel. For this video, I excluded Frontier and Spirit Airlines, but if you have no problem flying those airlines, then feel free to take them if you want to save a little bit of extra money on your vacation. On your screen are two screenshots I took comparing dates and prices between two different airports. On your left is JFK International Airport, and on your right is LAX. These airports do have good direct flights to Orlando, so your local airport might require a connecting flight, which can cost more money. So you will need to factor that in when budgeting your vacation. Notice these prices listed are not per person, but for four tickets where two tickets are adults and two tickets are children. The average between JFK and LAX looks to be about $700 to $725 for total airfare for a family of four. Now, again, if you plan on traveling with a party that is more or less than four people, I have included a chart that allows you to see the average prices of your particular party size at the end of the video. So be sure to watch the whole thing until the end where you can see the price breakdown for different party sizes. Another thing you will need to budget is transportation to and from the airport. Renting a car is going to be a more expensive option, but if you are staying at a hotel that isn't on Disney property, you might need it in order to get to and from the park. You see, Disney hotels offer free transportation for their park guests to and from the hotels and the parks. So oftentimes, if you're staying on Disney property, you don't even need to rent a car. You can simply get a ride share like Uber or Lyft over to your hotel, and then you can ride Disney's transportation to and from the parks. When renting a car, I recommend using Turo, as that is typically the more affordable option. I selected a time in September to rent an SUV, and it came out to around $200 total for the rental. I am going to add $70 for the gas of the car, but obviously, if you drive more often, you will end up paying more for gas. If you don't want to deal with a rental car and just want to take Uber or Lyft to your Disney World Resort, it will cost around $60 to $100 depending on how many people you have in your party. Now that we have our transportation covered, let's decide where we want to stay for a Disney vacation. When it comes to hotels, you have to decide whether you want to stay in hotels owned by Disney or if you wish to stay off property to try and save a little extra money. If you choose to stay at a hotel not on Disney property, you will likely have to add the price of a rental car and parking into your total for your trip, as Disney has buses and other forms of transportation that can take guests to and from their hotel rooms to the parks. First, we will dive into your choices when you decide to stay on Disney property. There are a total of 32 Disney owned resorts that you can choose to stay at during your Disney trip. and prices vary at each resort depending on a number of factors. But I was able to classify each resort into one of three categories. The first category is the value resort, for example, Pop Century or All Star Movies. The second category is the moderate resort, for example, Caribbean Beach or Port Orleans. The third category is the deluxe resort, for example, the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian. Value resorts typically cost around $180 to $250 a night. So for 5 nights, that would be around $1,000 to $1,300. A moderate resort costs around $300 to $400 per night. For 5 nights, that would be $1,500 to $2,000. And deluxe resorts typically cost around $600 to $900 per night. For 5 nights, that's going to cost you $3,000 to $4,500. Offsite resorts can save you money. Some go for as low as $100 a night, but you'll be sacrificing convenience and often have to pay for parking and transportation. So for this video, I'm going to assume that our family of four is staying for 5 nights and has chosen a moderate resort for their vacation. That puts us around $1,800 for a 5 night stay. The next big line item for your Disney vacation is going to be tickets to the park. Here, you will have to make one of two choices when it comes to how much money you want to spend on your trip, and that is whether you choose to buy park hopper tickets or to purchase one park per day tickets. While park hopper tickets do give you the flexibility of spending the morning in one park and the evening in another park, they are more expensive. On your screen now are the ticket prices for the month of August and September, and of course, in true Disney fashion, they are really good at hiding the true cost of each of their add-ons. The prices you see in these pictures are the base prices, meaning they are the cost of one park per day tickets. When you select which day you want to visit the parks, a drop-down menu on the website appears and shows you the cost of things like park hopper tickets and the super park hopper ticket options. In this example, I chose a day where single day tickets are $125 and we are going to the park for 4 days. For our family of four, that's going to be $500 per day. After selecting the days that I wanted to visit for our family of four, the drop-down menu appeared with the park hopper ticket options. As you can see, the park hopper option is going to be $582 per day instead of the original $500 price. That's going to be an extra $328 you are spending on your vacation just in park hopper tickets. When calculating our total for our pretend family of four, I decided to include the park hopper ticket option. This brings the cost of tickets to a grand total of $2,112. In my personal experience, a vacation to Disneyland can easily go over budget, so I'm trying to give as close to a real world estimate as I can. Plus, I totally understand the popularity of park hopper tickets and want our family to have the flexibility to change their plans whenever they want to. Now it's time to talk about the next line item in your list, which is going to be food. Food at Disney World adds up very quickly, but you can save some money depending on how you dine. At Disney World, there are three options when it comes to eating at the parks. Quick service meals typically average around $15 per person. Table service experiences, which are around $25 per person. And the most expensive options, which are character dining experiences, which cost around $100 per person. You add that up to 3 meals per day and an extra $10 for a snack, and you're looking at a cost of between $70 to $300 per person per day. If you're spending 4 days at the parks and have 4 people in your party, like in our example, you're looking at around spending $1,120 to $4,880 just in food. Now, I know that sounds like a huge price tag, but don't worry, I have some food hacks that can help you save some money. Disney World does allow outside food and drink when going to the parks, so if you're looking to save a lot of money on your trip, it's a smart idea to do some grocery shopping and bring your own food in a backpack when you're in the parks. If you don't have a way to get to the grocery store, don't worry because you can use food delivery apps to deliver food to your hotel in order to save money on food costs. I see this all the time when I visit Disney World, and it's really common to see bags full of groceries at the front desk that someone delivered to their room. For our family of 4 example, I'm going to go in the middle of our previous price range and assume that they are going to spend around $2,000 on food during their vacation, with a good mix of table service, character dining, and quick service meals, along with snacks that they get delivered to their hotel. All right, now here's the part of the video where the hidden costs start sneaking in. In this segment, we are going to cover the extras, which includes lightning lanes, photo passes, souvenirs, and other surprises you might run into along the way. Going through all of the information about lightning lanes can be an entire video on its own, but here's a quick breakdown. Essentially, lightning lanes are Disney's skip the line feature, which was previously called Genie Plus or Fast Pass. Back in the day, Disney offered Fast Passes as a free way to skip the line of select attractions where you would be given a ticket with a time on it so you could come back to the attraction at the given time and be able to skip the line. Now it's called the Lightning Lane system and is no longer free. There are three cost tiers with the Lightning Lane system. There is the Lightning Lane Single Pass, Multi Pass, and Premier Pass. The Single Pass allows you to skip the line of one attraction and are purchased a la carte with different prices depending on the attraction, but it typically ranges from $10 to $20 per person per ride. The Multi Pass allows you to select three experiences where you would want to skip the line and allows you to book them in advance of your trip. The only catch is you can only hold three lightning lanes at one time with the Multi Pass, but you can swap them out with other lightning lanes as much as you want. Plus, after you have used one of your lightning lanes, it opens up one of your three reservation slots, allowing you to book another lightning lane to get back to your three reservation limit. Multi-passes can also be swapped out with different ride times for the same attraction, or different ride times for different attractions if they become available. By allowing guests to swap their lightning lanes, it can allow you to pick up someone else's lightning lane that they let go during their day at the park. People's plans once they are inside the park are constantly changing, so it's very common for people to let go of their reservations and exchange them throughout the day. For example, let's say you have a lightning lane for Space Mountain at 1 p.m. You decide to check and see if there are earlier ride times for Space Mountain, so you open your My Disney Experience app and check the available reservations. You see that someone has let go of their 10 a.m. reservation, so you take that ride time and swap it with your 1 p.m. ride time, which allows you to go on Space Mountain earlier in the day at 10 a.m. instead of your original 1 p.m. time. As you can see, this is a really good way to save time, and if you play this system correctly, you can actually ride almost every ride in the park in one day just by swapping lightning lanes when they become available. It's important to note that there are some attractions that are not included in the multi-pass and must be purchased separately with a single pass. These attractions include Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Tron Light Cycle Run at the Magic Kingdom, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot, and Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios. It's also important to note that single pass prices can vary throughout the day, so if the park is more populated one day, then it could mean prices could increase. With all of that being said, multi-pass prices vary depending on the park and how busy it is, but typically range from $20 to $40 per person per day. Then, of course, there is the Premier Pass, where guests can get access to each attraction's lightning lane once per day with no set or scheduled arrival times. Depending on which park you visit and how busy it is that day, you can expect prices to be around $200 to $300 for Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios, and around $400 for the Magic Kingdom. These prices are also per person, so if my example party of four were to get the Premier Pass for the Magic Kingdom, it would cost them $1,200 for just that day. With that explanation out of the way, I am going to go with a moderate approach when pricing things for our family of four and say they decided to only use multi-passes for each day. This would bring their total for lightning lanes to around $560 for the trip. It could be as high as $880 if they wanted to include one single lightning lane pass for those select attractions each day, but I decided to go with a more moderate approach. Again, I want to restate that this is not a necessary part of a trip to Disney World. You can easily save yourself some money if you choose to only buy one single lightning lane pass or just wait in the standby queues and not purchase any lightning lanes. It's completely up to you how you want to plan your vacation, but don't feel like this is a necessary item you have to spend your hard-earned money on. Now, with all of that out of the way, we can calculate how much we want to spend on souvenirs. Things like hats, t-shirts, and toys average around $40 to $50, and hoodies and jackets are usually around $70. Specialty items can cost more, But for our example, let's say each person in our family of four got two items, each priced at $60. That would bring our total for souvenirs for this trip to $480. Finally, I like to budget $100 to $200 for miscellaneous items or expenses because vacations rarely ever go perfectly according to plan. This brings the total our family of four is going to spend on lightning lanes and extras to $1,190. Now let's total everything up and see how much a Disney World vacation will cost you in 2025. Going back to our Disney World vacation price list, I added a column that lists the price per person per segment of the vacation. The cost of airfare per person is going to be $187.50. The price of transportation, $37.50. A hotel is going to be $450. Tickets, $528. Food, $500. Lightning lanes, $140. Souvenirs, $120. And miscellaneous items, $37.50. For a family of four, this example would come out to $8,002. A family of three could expect to spend $6,000, and a family of five could expect to spend $10,000. So there you have it, a full, realistic cost breakdown of what a Disney World trip for a family of four costs in 2025. If you're looking for my best Disney money saving tips and tricks, so you can save some money on your next Disney vacation, be sure to check out my channel and look for my money saving tips video, which will also be linked down below in the description. Overall, yes, it is expensive, but if you're a smart planner and know what to expect, it can absolutely be worth it. Disney is still one of the few vacations where your kids are smiling from morning until fireworks, and it can also allow you to make some memories that will last a lifetime. If you found this cost breakdown helpful, please give this video a like and share it with somebody who's going on their next Disney vacation really soon. If you enjoy videos about travel, vacations, theme parks, and everything in between, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another one of my uploads. I encourage you to leave a comment down below sharing your best money saving strategy when it comes to your Disney vacations. I would love to hear what you think in the comments about my price breakdown and any money saving tips that you personally use on your Disney World vacations. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video.